When building WordPress themes, it is really important we consider that not everybody who uses our themes may speak the same language as us. Now, most of us don't have the ability to fully translate our themes word for word into many other languages. However, as a theme developer, we don't need to. What we can do though is develop our theme in a way so it can easily be translated by others, or in other words, make our theme translation ready. And this process is called internationalization. There is also another term you may also hear called localization. This is the process of somebody actually translating the words in our theme, and we'll take a look at this in the next video. To actually make our theme translation ready, it's not really as difficult as it may sound. WordPress provides us with some localization functions, which we use to wrap any text we want to be available for translation, and we've used these multiple times in our theme already. Just before we begin though, in our theme, we no longer need the HTML files from earlier when we used Bootstrap, so we can remove the blog.html, delete this file from our project, and the same for the contact. Since I've already removed the contents of these into our PHP files, I'm going to go through some various methods, beginning with the most simple, which is a basic text string, and there are plenty of these in the frontpage.php. Let's open this up, and if we look for some text, such as spa facilities here we have a simple piece of text, and all we need to do to make this translatable is to wrap it inside of a function like this. So let's first cut this out, create our PHP wrapper, use the double underscores, and then we can paste in our text as a string. The second argument is the text domain. This is tranquil WP, and this text domain must match the text domain we added in the style.css up at the top here. Adding this text domain will effectively group together all of our translations for our theme and distinguish them from translatable text from other themes or plugins. I'm not going to go through each string on this page since the process is exactly the same, and this is something you can go ahead and do yourself if you would like some more practice. Instead though, I'm going to show you how to handle some other types of string outputting, such as when we use the echo. Let's go over to the functions. And inside of here, we've used the _e function. Let's go down. In fact, let's do a search for _e. And we've used them here inside of our feature text function. This is good because this WordPress function is already translatable by default. All we need to do is add the text domain as the second argument. So add in tranquil WP. And of course, we can do the same for all of the _e functions in our theme. Or we can go one better with this too, by escaping our strings at the same time. WordPress also provides us with some functions, which both escape our strings, along with making them translation ready. Escaping a string is the process of removing any unwanted characters, so it's safe to output as HTML, such as the escape HTML function, which we add just like this. So before our E, we can add escape HTML_E, and this can also be good practice to add to all other strings too. Below this, we also have the printf function. Both the printf and sprintf functions will display a string of text with a variable inside, just as we've used here with this symbol. This function is also translatable, so all we need to do for WordPress to recognize this is to again add our second argument of our text domain of tranquil WP. Next up, we have the comments.php template. So let's go over to here. The comments.php file also has some examples of translatable functions. This is also using printf, just as we used before, but also nested inside. If we take a look for this, is the _x function and _nx. Although these are a little more complex to understand, Translation couldn't be easier. Both of these functions are translation ready by default, and both taking the same text domain as the last parameters. So first of all, the _x, just above the closing bracket, we can add a comma, then also pass it in our text domain of tranquil WP. We'll also do the same below for our _nx function, just after the comment title, the last parameter of tranquil WP. The last thing I want to show you is how to deal with WordPress functions, which will take in a string as a parameter. We have an example of this over in the index.php. So head over to there. And then if we look for the tags, which is inside of the loop, in the tags function, we've added the string we want to use as an optional parameter. And we can also make this text translatable. All we need to do is wrap the text inside of a translatable function. So let's cut out all of the contents. And then just like we looked at before, we can use the double underscores, open up the brackets, and then paste in the text inside. Then we add in our final argument, which is our text domain of tranquil WP. And this is all we need to do to wrap our text from a function argument to make it translation ready. This is how we can prepare our theme for translation, and it's not too difficult to accomplish. If you would like to carry on with the rest of the theme, go ahead and do things in the same way as we've just seen. But next up, we will look at the process of actually translating this text into other languages.